Hello everyone, and welcoming you to our YouTube channel Last Bench Listener. In this video, we are going to discuss about types of machine learning and their advantages and disadvantage with example. Machine learning is a subset of AI, which enables the machine to automatically learn from data, improve performance from past experiences, and make predictions. Machine learning contains a set of algorithms that work on a huge amount of data. Data is fed to these algorithms to train them, and on the basis of training, they build the model and perform a specific task. These ML algorithms help to solve different business problems like regression, classification, forecasting, clustering, and associations, etc. Based on the methods and way of learning, machine learning is divided into mainly 4 types, which are supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, semi-supervised machine learning, reinforcement machine learning, supervised machine learning. As its name suggests, supervised machine learning is based on supervision. It means in the supervised learning technique, we train the machines using the labeled dataset, and based on the training, the machine predicts the output. Here, the labeled data specifies that some of the inputs are already mapped to the output. More preciously, we can say, first, we train the machine with the input and corresponding output, and then we ask the machine to predict the output using the test dataset. Let's understand supervised learning with an example. Suppose we have an input dataset of apple, carrot, and capsicum images. So first, we will provide the training to the machine to understand the images, such as the shape, size, and color of apple, capsicum, and carrot. After completion of training, we input the picture of an apple and ask the machine to identify the object and predict the output. Now, the machine is well trained, so it will check all the features of the object, such as size, shape, color, etc., and find that it's an apple. So, it will put it in the apple category. This is the process of how the machine identifies the objects in supervised learning. The main goal of the supervised learning technique is to map the input variable, x, with the output variable, y. Categories of supervised machine learning can be classified into 2 types of problems. First one is classification. Classification algorithms are used to solve the classification problems in which the output variable is categorical, such as yes or no, male or female, red or blue, etc. The classification algorithms predict the categories present in the dataset. Some real-world examples of classification algorithms are spam detection, email filtering, etc. Next one is regression. Regression algorithms are used to solve regression problems in which there is a linear relationship between input and output variables. These are used to predict continuous output variables, such as market trends, weather prediction, etc. Some of the most popularly used supervised learning algorithms are linear regression, logistic regression support vector machine, k-nearest neighbor decision tree random forest, naive Bayes. Next, we are going to discuss about advantages and disadvantages of supervised learning. Advantages is, since supervised learning work with the labeled dataset, so we can have an exact idea about the classes of objects. These algorithms are helpful in predicting the output on the basis of prior experience. Disadvantages is, these algorithms are not able to solve complex tasks. It may predict the wrong output if the test data is different from the training data. It requires lots of computational time to train the algorithm. Next, few of the top supervised learning applications are weather prediction, sales forecasting, stock price analysis. Next type is unsupervised learning. It's different from the supervised learning technique. As its name suggests, there is no need for supervision. It means in unsupervised machine learning, the machine is trained using the unlabeled dataset, and the machine predicts the output without any supervision. In unsupervised learning, the models are trained with the data that is neither classified nor labeled, and the model acts on that data without any supervision. The main aim of the unsupervised learning algorithm is to group or categorize the unsorted dataset according to the similarities, patterns, and differences. Machines are instructed to find the hidden patterns from the input dataset. Let's take an example to understand it more preciously. Suppose there is a basket of vegetable images, and we input it into the machine learning model. The images are totally unknown to the model, and the task of the machine is to find the patterns and categories of the objects. So, now the machine will discover its patterns and differences, such as color difference, shape difference, and predict the output when it is tested with the test dataset. Unsupervised learning can be further classified into two types. First one is clustering. This technique is used when we want to find the inherent groups from the data. It is a way to group the objects into a cluster such that the objects with the most similarities remain in one group and have fewer or no similarities with the objects of other groups. An example of the clustering algorithm is grouping the customers by their purchasing behavior. Next one is association. It is an unsupervised learning technique which finds interesting relations among variables within a large dataset. The main aim of this learning algorithm is to find the dependency of one data item on another data item and map those variables accordingly so that it can generate maximum profit. This algorithm is mainly applied in market basket analysis, web usage mining, continuous production, etc. Some of the most popularly used supervised learning algorithms are K-means clustering, hierarchical clustering, DBSCAN, principal component analysis. Next, going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of unsupervised learning algorithm. First advantage is, these algorithms can be used for complicated tasks compared to the supervised ones because these algorithms work on the unlabeled dataset. Next, unsupervised algorithms are preferable for various tasks as getting the unlabeled dataset is easier as compared to the labeled dataset. Disadvantages are, the output of an unsupervised algorithm can be less accurate as the dataset is not labeled, and algorithms are not trained with the exact output in prior. Working with unsupervised learning is more difficult as it works with the unlabeled dataset that does not map with the output. Next type is semi-supervised learning is a type of machine learning algorithm that lies between supervised and unsupervised machine learning. It represents the intermediate ground between supervised, with labeled training data, and unsupervised learning, with no labeled training data, algorithms, and uses the combination of labeled and unlabeled datasets during the training period. Although semi-supervised learning is the middle ground between supervised and unsupervised learning and operates on the data that consists of a few labels, it mostly consists of unlabeled data. As labels are costly, but for corporate purposes, they may have few labels. It is completely different from supervised and unsupervised learning as they are based on the presence and absence of labels. To overcome the drawbacks of supervised learning and unsupervised learning algorithms, the concept of semi-supervised learning is introduced. The main aim of semi-supervised learning is to effectively use all the available data, rather than only labeled data like in supervised learning. Initially, similar data is clustered along with an unsupervised learning algorithm, and further, it helps to label the unlabeled data into labeled data. It is because labeled data is a comparatively more expensive acquisition than unlabeled data. We can imagine these algorithms with an example. Supervised learning is where a student is under the supervision of an instructor at home and college. Further, if that student is self-analyzing the same concept without any help from the instructor, it comes under unsupervised learning. Under semi-supervised learning, the student has to revise himself after analyzing the same concept under the guidance of an instructor at college. Let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of semi-supervised learning. Advantages are, it is simple and easy to understand the algorithm. It is highly efficient. It is used to solve drawbacks of supervised and unsupervised learning algorithms. Disadvantages are, iterations results may not be stable. We cannot apply these algorithms to network-level data. Accuracy is low. Semi-supervised learning application is speech recognition. Final type is reinforcement learning. It works on a feedback-based process in which an AI agent automatically explores its surrounding by hitting an AMP trail, taking action, learning from experiences, and improving its performance. Agent gets rewarded for each good action and get punished for each bad action. Hence, the goal of reinforcement learning agent is to maximize the rewards. In reinforcement learning, there is no labeled data like supervised learning, and agents learn from their experiences only. The reinforcement learning process is similar to a human being. For example, a child learns various things by experiences in his day-to-day life. An example of reinforcement learning is to play a game, where the game is the environment, moves of an agent at each step define states, and the goal of the agent is to get a high score. Agent receives feedback in terms of punishment and rewards. A reinforcement learning problem can be formalized using Markov Decision Process, MDP. In MDP, the agent constantly interacts with the environment and performs actions. At each action, the environment responds and generates a new state. Here, agent means an independent program or entity that interacts with its environment by perceiving its surroundings via sensors, then acting through actuators or effectors. Categories of reinforcement learning is categorized mainly into two types of methods, algorithms. Positive reinforcement learning. Positive reinforcement learning specifies increasing the tendency that the required behavior would occur again by adding something. It enhances the strength of the behavior of the agent and positively impacts it. Negative reinforcement learning. Negative reinforcement learning works exactly opposite to the positive RL. It increases the tendency that the specific behavior would occur again by avoiding the negative condition. Some of the important reinforcement learning algorithms are Q-Learning Monte Carlo Deep Q Network. Let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of reinforcement learning. Advantages are it helps in solving complex real-world problems which are difficult to be solved by general techniques. The learning model of RL is similar to the learning of human beings. Hence, most accurate results can be found. Helps in achieving long-term results. Disadvantages are RL algorithms are not preferred for simple problems. RL algorithms require huge data and computations. Too much reinforcement learning can lead to an overload of states which can weaken the results. Reinforcement learning algorithms are widely used in the gaming industries to build games. It is also used to train robots to do human tasks. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.